Welcome back to another Chasing the Clock episode. Our Speedrun Chronicles right now. The focus is on the Mega Man Classic series. Just recently, finally, got that PB in Mega Man 2. You can see that ranks us 41st on the current leaderboard, but overall in that category for the original Mega Man 2, the emulated or the original form, it's 276. So I'm happy with that. I wanted to get something sub 36. Cool, achieved. So we are 2 of the way through the 11. Up next, Mega Man 3. One of the games I have not submitted a time for. So this is going to be fun. Is finding a time that the thing that is a struggle here, this 5, 7, and 8. Technically 11 as well. Is finding a time that I am content with. I will still work on improving those times throughout the year, but it's just mentally. Am I okay with this time? Can I get a deathless run? Is this a good reflection of my progress with the game so far? With that said, let's take a look at the leaderboards and see what we're looking at time-wise. So for Mega Man 3, this will be kind of nice. This is just any percent. There's really not a whole lot of variety with this. It's either that or Buster only or just some random other things you can do to controllers. Fasta, a guy that I've watched a lot, a guy that I am sub to, currently holds the record, set it at the very beginning of the year, looking to see what we can do. So on the leaderboard, the first thing I always look at is easily like a sub hour. That should be the easy achievement, right? At least in my head, that's what it should be. Looking at it, there are 216 times. A sub hour would put me somewhere around the 210. I would still like to do better than that. This is just the regular leaderboard. You can see there are a couple times over an hour. I would like, realistically, I'd have to kind of play the game a little bit more to see. I'm looking and hoping for sub 50. Sub 45 would be ideal. Sub 50. This is a little bit of a longer game. I'll explain why in a bit. So that's what we're looking at there. If we go to the series under the game under the collection, you can see. So the actual record time's not that far off, but it's a shorter list, 36. So this will be the list that I would be on. I would say, again, I'd say probably, I guess, off of this list, a sub 50 would be nice. Somewhere where I could be somewhere around the 30 range. I'd prefer top 30. We'll see. This is a little bit of a longer game. May, oh, it's been a quiet leaderboard. October, September, only a couple of times have been submitted. For this one, this KFA, cool name. So this is what we're going to be looking at. Let's look at the splits so I can explain kind of what I'm looking at, and then I can give you an estimate of what we're looking at time-wise as well. We have 2 different splits to look at here, so I'll explain why I have both up. First, on the left, the actual game itself. So what you typically have in a classic series would be the 8 Robot Masters. Some games have intro, Mega Man 7, but an 8. You're looking at just the Robot Masters, so you have your typical 8. What makes Mega Man 3 stand out a little from the others, remember Mega Man 1 you just had the 6 and Wily, 10 stages. Mega Man 2 you had the 8 and Wily. Mega Man 3, different. You've got the 8 Robot Masters. You have 4 dock stages. So those are, you can see Gemini, Shadow, Needle, and Spark. They each have 2 bosses reflected on bosses earlier in the series. Still have weaknesses based off of Mega Man 3, but they are refights, but also reskin stages as well. So you have Doc Gemini, you have Gemini as a 3rd stage in the run. They look similar, they play different. So those would make 12. Breakman, aka Proto Man, stage number 13, and then Wily. You've got 5 plus final. So you have the 4 boss rushes in the 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. So altogether, this is a 19 stage run. This is not an extremely long game, but 19 stages does not just fly by. The reason I pulled up the other splits here, these are the Mega Man 1 to 11, so I've only ran it twice. I plan obviously on running it more because the goal is in 2024 to get a sub 10 hour. You can see the sum of best, close. But I want to pull up Mega Man 3. So if we go off of Mega Man 3, got an hour and 13 minutes. So this is the third game in the run, still fairly fresh, not tired at all. An hour and 13. Final Wily is 2 hours and 10 minutes. So again, this is when I'm actually switching to the game once I've actually booted up the game. Now you've got Final Wily. You can see it's not terrible. That is sub hour. So that lets you know sub hour is definitely something achievable. The question is, how much more time can I get under that? I'm going to run this game a couple of times just so I'm able to get an understanding. I need to refresh and get reacquainted with the game, but also just so I can get multiple splits. You can see there are 0 runs. This is fresh on this computer. So I will need to get multiple runs so I can get a accumulation of splits to kind of get an idea for an accurate sum of best. That's what we're shooting for. We'll get this started very quickly in the new year. Vacation is very fast approaching, thankfully. So I'd imagine 10 runs of Mega Man 3 probably should be happening before, I go back to work on a regular basis Martin Luther King week, the third week of January. That's it. That's all I got. Looking forward to getting Mega Man 3 started. It is not a game that I dislike. It is not my favorite Mega Man game either. I think it's a really solid game. This is the last game before sliding becomes something that is added to the equation. So just walk, aka running and jumping. Pretty simple. Looking forward to seeing what I can do. And we will have a run or a PB achieved no later than the end of January. Because it is a fresh run, it's just being something I'd be comfortable with. So trying to make sure that I get all 11 games PB'd. Some will be harder because you have the times in Mega Man 4. Go to my page for a sec. Mega Man 4 has a time. Got to do better than that. Mega Man 9 and 10s have time. 9 is going to be a really tough one because I think that's the game that I've run best so far. 6, that's also a game that I've run a decent amount. That also is a game that has a skip, so I'm going to have to be able to do that somewhat decently. We'll see. 3, though, I do not plan on having a PB achieved after the end of January. Ideally, I find a time I'm happy with early on once I get reacquainted, and things should be good. That said, thanks for watching the video. The next video you see on Sunday, very happily, should be some gameplay of this game. So thanks for watching. Be safe tonight. Happy New Year in advance, and I'll see you on the other side.